Alright, welcome race fans once again to Virtual Racing Network. We have a lot in store for you here tonight. Before we get to all of that, of course, we want to go through the sponsors that make this broadcast possible and this race possible, starting with Walls Beard Co. Guys, if you have a beard out there, you need to take care of it with some Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm, all natural and organic products. Not only that, they have different scents to pick from, so head on over to wallsbeardco.com to pick some of that up today. SimSpeedShop.com, your one-stop shop for button boxes and e-brakes for you rallycross racers. Head on over there today and pick one or both of those items up, and trust me, your iRacing career will take off to the next level. Just two great items that every iRacer needs to have. Northwest Racing Series, the official one-to-go sponsor here for Virtual Racing Network. So later on tonight, when you see the white flag waving, it is presented by Northwest Racing Series. Ohio IndyCar League. If you're looking to get into some IndyCar racing, there is no better place to do so than Ohio IndyCar League. They are no longer just taking Ohio club members. You can get all the latest information at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, your sim race broadcast graphics source. Go get you some graphics. There's some free ones over there, or you can have custom ones made from Jason Allison at ibog.co. So head on over there, message him today if you're looking to get into broadcasting or just need some overlays for your streaming. And of course, Randy's Wraps. Here in just a few moments, we are going to bring a driver up here to the booth with us, and we are going to talk to them here for the pre-race interview presented by Randy's Wraps. If you need a quality paint job at a reasonable price, there is no other place to go than Randy's Wraps. Just look them up on Facebook. Just type in Randy's Wraps, and you will find them. And, of course, on the racing side of things here tonight, we have a few sponsors that are footing the bill for all of this. We got to make sure we give them a shout-out here. Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills. They are the presenting sponsor for the Truck Series on Tuesday night and a general sponsor here for tonight's race. And, of course, iRacing Drivers World, another general sponsor for this series and the Truck Series. So make sure you head on over to iRacing Drivers World on Facebook and get a part of that group. It is a great place to be and hang out, post your pictures, videos, questions, whatever it may be. You can post it there on iRacing Drivers World. And, of course, the presenting sponsor here for tonight's race, that is Global Building Contractors. Make sure you head up to their Facebook page, their website, however you can get a hold of them. Give them a huge shout-out for footing the bill and being part of this league here in this series. So, again, Global Building Contractors, your presenting sponsor here for the RACECORE Xfinity Series. That being said, it is that time once again to introduce our second chair here for tonight's race, and that is the one and only Randy Post. So, Randy, welcome to the booth.
Yeah, Charles, thanks for getting me in here again tonight.
Well, it looks like we should have a great race here. I believe this is the second week in a row we have had exactly 20 drivers. So very interesting. Still a good car count, but a few shy of what we've seen in the past. But still should be some great racing, as this track's, I believe, 1.366 miles. So not quite a half mile, or a mile and a half, but not quite a mile either. It's kind of somewhere in limbo in between there.
Yeah, this track is really weird, though, because it's kind of got like a teardrop shape to it. I think it's 1 and 2 is really, really wide, and 3 and 4 is like a tight paperclip turn, and the turns are really banked, and if you're not on that banked side of the turn, you're really not going to have a lot of speed on this track.
Well, and we have heard too from some of the drivers here this afternoon before we went live here that the track is very tight. It's going to be hard to pass. So that being said, I think qualifying is going to be very crucial here, as well as pit stops, because, you know, that may be where you actually do some passing is on pit road. So makes you wonder here, if it is a tight setup, you probably don't want 2 tires, but will we see somebody take 2 tires to gain the position on pit road?
I could see that happening. I know we've had races before that people have taken 2 tires out of the gamble, and the vehicle actually felt better after they took 2 tires.
Well, it's definitely something we will have to be looking for here to see who does what. Well, we have a moment here before we pull a driver. If you want to pick us a driver to come up here and take an interview with, we want to, of course, thank everybody for tuning in here tonight for the race. Looks like we got Crazy Burger in here with us here, so welcome to the race here. And for everyone else that's out there, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button to let us know you like the race, and that you will also be notified of all the upcoming events we do have just about every night of the week. We do have something going on, so thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you'll stay tuned as long as you can here for the race. And that being said, it looks like we do have our driver in here for the pre-race interview presented by Randy's Wraps. Randy, we'll hand it over to you to start this thing. And looks like we have the 48 of Jack Fellers with us.
Yeah, Jack, I brought you up here because, as I told you, I'm picking you again tonight. I've seen a lot of improvement from you within the past couple of weeks, and I really think that you are going to surprise everybody here one of these days and bring home a victory. So what's your plan for tonight on keeping this thing on the track and in one piece?
Just keeping it out of the turn-tune wall is really all that I need to do tonight. I hit it just about every lap in practice.
Yeah, so are you assuming that qualifying is pretty much going to be the set lineup for the day where everybody's going to be single file for the rest of the day?
Oh yeah, if you try to pass, you're probably going to get put in the wall. I know Charles Hoffman tried to pass me in practice here, and I accidentally put him in the wall. So unless you're just around somebody that you can really trust, you don't want to be passing too much.
All right. Well, I know you guys are getting ready for a driver meeting here, so I'll let you get back down there and enjoy the driver meeting.
Yep, thank you.
All right, folks, that was your pre-race interview presented by Randy's Wraps. Again, the 48 of Jack Fellers here, and currently sitting in 17th place here in practice. So a little bit of work cut out for him if he wants to get up to the front. And a little early here, but that was your pick here. I'm not sure who I'm going to go with here. He hasn't won in a couple of weeks now, but I don't want to count him out. So I think I'm going to go with the 14 of Jameer Muhammad as my pick for tonight's win. He's at the top of the charts right now, where he has been a couple of weeks, but it just hasn't worked out for him. But I think tonight is his night. Maybe he's found something here. So I'm going to go with him for my my pick for the win.
Yeah, and Jameer's really good driver. He just had a string of some tracks that he may not be the best at, particularly. So it just kind of like a bad stretch of tracks that's been coming through with him for the trucks and the Xfinity car, really.
Yeah, we'll see if he can kind of pick it up here a little bit. Again, not saying he's had bad finishes. He's finished in the top 5, top 10. It just hasn't been on that winning streak like we've seen in the past. That being said here, we're going to pull up the VRN race analyst to let everyone know how and what is going to be happening here tonight in the race. It's partly cloudy. The wind just changed from south to southwest, 5 miles per hour. So not a whole lot of wind, but more than we typically see. Usually it's around 2, so a little bit higher wind speed. 82 degree air temp and 92 degree track temp with 125 laps and just under technically 171 miles. It's actually 170.75. We just put it as 171. So quite a few miles around this track tonight.
Yeah, and we were talking to the guys earlier. They said they were ticking them off about 30-second lap times. So I think it should be, if they go green, it'll be a short race. If we have a lot of cautions, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here for a long time tonight, I think.
Yeah, we do. A tire window, we predict and talk to the drivers around 5 to 7 laps. They pretty much said after 5 laps they will come down. I think maybe somebody, if we have a caution that early, might stay out, so we put it up to 7 laps. Fuel window 35 to 40 laps. We'll see. The question is, will we get to that fuel window? And if we do, those tires are going to be worn out. And if they are, will we see mistakes made on pit road tonight?
Worn out tires really give you a mishandling, mistreating kind of car. It can be kind of weird. Sometimes it'll get really, really tight. Sometimes it'll get really, really loose. And sometimes it'll just kick out on you and you don't even know what's happening. Pit road, a lot of guys can get flustered with the race and it take over the mental concentration of trying to get in the box without having any issues, shoot through the box, be too far left, be too far right, not be able to get the car jacked up, and just completely miss their box. I mean, I've done that when I'm frustrated before, so pit road is definitely a mental game.
Yeah, pit road can be a mental game. And real quick before we get to the point standings, I see we do have Mike Neal in chat. We didn't catch this last time at the last race we were in, but Mike Neal, we want to give a shout out to you for the donation you gave at the last race. We didn't have our email pulled up, so we didn't see it come in right away. But thanks for that, as now we see you in chat. And we will go ahead and pull up your point standings here. As speaking of Mike Neal, look who's at the top of your point standings right now. This is before drops, but I believe anyway. But Mikey Neal sitting at the top over Jamir Muhammad now with a 3-point lead with 657 points.
Yeah, lots of I can't see the points obviously, but these guys are pretty close in points from what I remember, and there's still lots of room to get it.
Yeah, definitely is. Jamir Muhammad is in second place, so we'll run through your top 10. Then it is Roger Muth, Dan Butler, Alex Huffman, Austin Edstrom, Justin Starr, Bryson Barker, Ryan Dorsey, and Craig Covington. Those are your top 10 in the point standings. We'll let you look at those 11th through 20th there. But based off of practice here, Jamir is a little bit faster, but there for a while in practice we did see Mikey Neal ahead. He was at the top of the charts, and only .063 separating them right now. So also you got Bryson Barker, Alex Huffman in there. I expect to see a really good battle between those top even 5 drivers, really.
Yeah, I was watching Mikey run a little bit, and I think from talking to him a little bit and seeing him run, he's got a plan for a long run. And Mikey's planning for a long run. I know Alex Huffman, talking to him, he was planning for a short run because of how the track is and how tight the setup is. So the strategy here is way different for drivers. Some guys are planning for 15 lap runs, some guys are planning for 40 lap runs. So that can really affect Mikey if there is a lot of short run segments to where he can't get out and get the positions he needs.
Yeah, it definitely could. So we're going to be keeping on all of this here tonight just to see how it plays out and how the points do work themselves out. Obviously, we'll know next week coming in to the race. We'll see. And I believe we only have about 4, maybe 5 races left because of that incident we had there earlier where we had to push back a week. So we're keeping a close eye on the point standings. And here shortly, those drops will take into effect. And then that really will give us a true estimate or a picture of how the points are going to be playing out for the remainder of the season. So that is one thing we are going to be looking for here tonight. It looks like they are in a driver's meeting at the moment here. We got just under 7 minutes to go. So give us just a minute. We're going to get some last minute stuff taken care of real quick, and we will be right back here in just a few moments. And we might see if we can't squeeze in another driver interview as soon as they come out of their driver's meeting, and see if we can't talk to one of these drivers about what they think about coming into tonight's race. So give us just a few moments, and we will be right back. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Still about 5 minutes on the clock here, and they are still in a driver's meeting at the moment, so we still have a few minutes here. We do want to, of course, remind everyone to hit the subscribe and like button if you like the racing and you want to be notified of all the rest. Make sure you do hit that button, and it will get you notified. And of course, let us know, the other fans out there know, and all these drivers and sponsors know that you like what you see here on Virtual Racing Network. So we kind of gone over this already. We got 20 drivers, just about, I think, the exact same amount that we had last week. So we don't want to try to throw predictions around as to cautions, but based on what we've seen in practice and what we've heard from these drivers, I have a feeling we may see a couple of cautions with people getting into the outside wall and then possibly coming in front of other drivers down the track.
Yeah, I'm expecting more than a normal amount for these guys. These guys have very, very small amount of cautions or next to none or none at all.
Yeah, this will be a very interesting to see here. We do have the ability here to somewhat see incidents, is what we see on the back end. However, I'm not sure how accurate it is, so we'll have to keep an eye on that and see. Right now, it's showing everybody with 0, so we'll just keep an eye. I believe they have a 17 incident limit or somewhere around there. So we have to keep a very close eye to see if anybody hits that limit here. It's not a short track, but it's not a 1.5 miles or a super speedway. So bumping may come an issue here, scraping the wall. So we just have to kind of watch that and see. But it's coming up on 3 minutes here. I don't know if anyone's going to be coming out. So that being said, if we don't get another driver in the view, that kind of stinks. I was kind of hoping we could.
I think we're gonna be able to. They're finishing up drivers meeting right now. Mikey's looking like he's getting ready to come out.
Well, I did see him there going about 6 miles an hour sitting on pit road. If they do, we'll try to grab one of them up real quick and see what their thoughts are here for tonight's race and what they expect to do.
Yep. I'm able to see incident points here on the iRacing side of things, and in practice, these guys have a lot of incident points versus what I'm used to.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that throughout the race to see how accurate it is on our end. We are able to see that, so it's something new. We haven't always been able to see it either, so or at least not on my end. I don't know if your end has been able to, but we'll keep a close eye on that to see if they do. But it looks like they are coming out here. So if you want to grab another driver, we'll pull them up here and get a quick interview. We are, however, limited as there is very few people here. But it looks like we do have Brian Dorsey with us.
Yeah, Charles, I'll hand this one off to you since I did the first one, and you can talk to Brian here.
All right, Brian, you got a copy. I'm going to take the muting of a mic as a no.
Yes, sir, I do. You got me?
Oh, there we go. We want to get you up here real fast before we go to the national anthem and get your quick thoughts here on the track and what do you think is going to happen here for yourself tonight?
It's going to be Darlington. I mean, it's a one-lane track. You're going to have to give and take. You're going to have to just race the track and not race the guys around you. If a guy gets a run on you, you're going to have to give him a spot. Maybe he'll give it back to you later on, but you got to keep yourself in shape to get to the end of the race here.
Well, I'll definitely be watching here. We just want to get a quick word in with you, but we'll let you get back going there as we're going to go to the national anthem, and we will be right back with qualifying.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll go ahead and drop here to the 8 of Mikey Neal. As well, he's the first one at the top here. Nobody's put a time in yet. We'll pull up your driver bar. We'll see how they stack out or stack it up once the green flag does end here, and checker flag starts for qualifying. But right now they still got about 4 minutes, so they just got started. And it looks like very few people are coming out.
Yeah, maybe some of these guys don't want to qualify right away. Maybe they're trying to look for what kind of times they're going to have to put up. And maybe all of them just don't want to. As Mikey Neal gets really crossed up and tags the wall there on his second lap. Second lap, yep.
Yeah, he did. Right now, he's sitting in third place as we'll switch over to Jameer Muhammad, who is in top of the charts with a 28.090 with Bryson Barker right behind him with a 28.110. So not much separating them, .020. Alex Huffman in fourth, and Justin Starr now sixth, as Brian Dorsey is going to take fifth. So we'll go ahead and pull up your qualifying times here. So very few cars have actually taken times, as we'll switch over here to Dan Butler out on the track, and your pick, Jack Fellers, is out on the track as well.
Yeah, I'm watching Jack here to see if he tags the wall a little bit or if he's going to be able to keep it off. Get some times in.
Yeah, definitely running right up against the wall right now, and that's kind of par. They're going to run up there on top of this track very close to the wall, but you just have to do your best not to tag it. That is the last thing you want to do. But right now, 6 drivers have put times in. 2 are on the track right now that have not put times in. Out of this 20-car field, so a ton of drivers have not put times in, as Jack does hit the wall coming out of turn 4, and that is going to do it. That lap will not count, so he does have one more lap if he stops it before he crosses the line. He does indeed, so he's going to have to regroup and try it one more time, as now Justin Spear comes out onto the track, but Dan Butler is out on the track as well.
Watch Dan Butler here, because being he's a league admin. Sorry about that. Oh, he looks like he's done with his lap, maybe?
Yeah, he's going to shut it down. He is going to regroup here and come back out on the track. So we'll switch over to Justin Spear. Newer driver. We have not got to talk about him a whole lot. Doesn't even have any sponsors on the car for us to talk about, but he is going to shut it down without completing a lap either, so we'll switch back over to Dan Butler. So very interesting here. We've had a few people hit the wall and a few people that just haven't decided to complete laps.
Yeah, this is a different style that I've seen before. Kind of confused myself, but guys are just trying to post laps, so and possibly get the fastest one they can. So we'll see what can happen with these guys.
Yeah, and I know from past week, I'm not sure, I can't remember if it was the trucks or the Xfinity. I think it was the Xfinity. Ed Saul is on probation, and Trevor Graffam, after what can only be described as, I don't even know how to say it. Well, there's no way.
Monster trucks.
Do what?
Like a monster jam.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting what went on in that last race. Yeah, just shoving it 3 wide when there was no reason or no need for it. Got himself on probation for that. But apparently this is going to do it. We have 18 seconds left with only 6 people taking laps. Unless a lot of these people hit the wall, very few people are qualifying. This is the fewest we have ever seen.
And some of these guys, it looks like I don't know if they have come out and tagged the wall both their laps, or if they just haven't come out at all.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, they didn't come out at all. They don't even have a warm-up lap either. So we'll see here. Very interesting, but again, only a handful of drivers coming out to qualify.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious if these guys are just going to try and hang back and wait for all the wrecks to happen, kind of like a Daytona race where you see a lot of people do that kind of stuff, or they're just going to ride together single file for 125 laps.
And we're getting reports that we need to turn you up. We got you cranked up pretty good, so we turned you up a little bit more on our end, so hopefully that will be good.
All right, so I moved my mic a little bit closer to my mouth, so maybe that'll do it.
All right, well, it is that time, of course, so we're going to drop down to this field, and we'll go ahead and get to the Walls Beard Co. starting grid. You want to run through our top 10 drivers, and then I will round out the field here tonight.
Yeah, I can do that. So row 1 is going to be the 14 of Jameer Muhammad with a 28.090. On his outside is going to be Bryson Barker in the 84. Row 2 is going to be the 8 of Mikey Neal and the 83 of Alex Huffman. Row 3 is going to be the 9 of Brian Dorsey and the 99 of Justin Starr. Row 4 is going to be the 77 of Justin Spear and the 39 of Roger Muth. Row 5 is going to be the 91 of Jim Locking and the 21 of Dan Butler.
And in row 6 is going to be the 87 of John Van Ellis and the 11 of Dennis Ellis. Row 7 is going to be, don't know what his number is there, Ray Moss, and the number 2 of Jared Hagedorn. Row 8 is going to be the 12 of James Morgan and the 27 of Jonathan Ellis. Row 9 is going to be the 48 of Jack Fellers and the 70 of Sam Crow. Row 10 is going to be the 6 of Matthew Ellis and the 63 of Charles Hoffman. That will do it here for the Walls of Beard Co. starting grid. And it looks like Jared Hagedorn, Roger Muth, and Jim Locking are not going to start the race. We knew Roger Muth wouldn't due to his shoulder hurting him. So that one we knew. The other 2 we didn't. But it doesn't matter. Green flag is just about ready to get going as they are coming out of turn 4 to get this thing started. Jameer Muhammad has controlled the field. The green flag is in the air. We are racing here for the first time tonight. How will it play out? That will be determined here shortly, but it looks like Jameer Muhammad's going to get a fairly good jump here, and everyone's really spread out, even in your top 15.
Yeah, it's really weird because we got a couple guys, Ray Moss and the 87 of John Van Ellis. They hung back really quick. They are about 8 seconds back from the leader, so I'm kind of curious as to if something happened or if they're just planning on staying back there. But yeah, very, very spread out on the start. I think that's a good thing for the start of this race because they'll get spread out. Nobody's going to get too antsy right away, and we can see some green flag laps, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. We got the battle of the Justins going on. Justin Spear, Justin Starr. So we'll see how that all plays itself out here. Jack Fellers in 10th place right now. So we'll pull that up. He started saying 17th. He's in 10th right now. So he has already gained a just ton of positions here since the start of the race. But again, it was kind of funky because only but 7 people qualified. So a very interesting deal there, how it played itself out. But we'll see who, maybe one of these guys that didn't qualify has the plan to come to the front and win this thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, realistically, all these guys have the plan to come to the front and win this thing. People don't come to a racetrack just to finish second. So,
this is true.
We've got the from looks like 10th to 14th, 15th is, and even a couple cars in front of that, they're getting a little tightened up, and there should be some good battles coming soon, I do believe, and I think it'll be cool to watch on some of the guys run the banking versus the flat track, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be very interesting. And we discovered why you were so quiet here. We do apologize. You can you can fix your mic back if you want. We had the whole TeamSpeak turned down for some reason. We do apologize for that. I'm not sure how we managed to turn that down, or I managed to turn it down, but we have got that fixed, so that was the issue. We had everybody muffled a little bit.
Ooh, and we might have something that looks like the 63 of Charles Hoffman. He almost went around. He was able to save it. It looked like the 12 of James Morgan might have gotten in the back of him a little bit, and he was able to save it and get it back up on track.
Yeah, very good job for him to save it there. As we were watching that a little bit, so good save for him, but he will lose several spots out of this. Unfortunate for him that he will, but right now we got a good little battle starting to brew right here with him just in front of him. Your pick here, Jack Fellers, who is looks like he's going to get passed by the 12 of James Morgan, and it looks like maybe Jack Fellers got rear-ended and possibly has some side damage as well. Maybe he got into the outside wall.
Yeah, I've seen that rear end damage a little while ago, and these guys are going to be beating that wall down all night long, so I expect to have a flat car by the end of the night with beating that wall down on the right side there.
Yeah, they definitely have, and we'll see. Oh, we got somebody into the wall here. I'm not sure who that is. Maybe it's the 77 of Justin Spear. Gets into the outside wall. I think he had some help there. We didn't just caught it right at the last second. I'm not sure. Looks like he also could have just got loose, but he definitely got into another car. As we're starting to see the wear of these tires already on lap 8, as these guys are starting to get real loose, and that's exactly what we expected to happen.
Yeah, and I just want to talk about Justin Starr real quick. He's up in 6th place right now. We don't usually see him right away in the top 10, but he has like 4 seconds in front of him, nobody's there, and about 3 to 4 seconds behind him that nobody's there. So he's just kind of running his line and holding down that 6th place position pretty good, and I think it's pretty cool for Justin to see that.
Yeah, he definitely is. Has nobody around him, just kind of a Sunday cruise right now. We'll go to that 4 seconds in front of him. There are your front 5 cars right now. It is currently Jameer Muhammad, Bryson Barker, Mikey Neal, Alex Huffman, and Brian Dorsey. Those are the drivers that are in front of him at the moment. And doing a really good job here, but already everybody's really spread out, and it looks like we have our first caution. It's going to be John Van Varela spinning out on the front stretch.
Yeah. Let's see if we can go back and see if he had any help or if it was just a self-spin.
I have a feeling, we'll see. He was around some people. Ooh, the 70 and the 77 get together. That doesn't affect this one. I'm not sure what happened here. As he said the front stretch, I believe this is on the back stretch actually. The 70 and the 77 did get together of Justin Spear and Sam Crow, but that did not affect him. He gets into the outside wall as we figured would be a problem, and just spins it out once again, or not once again, but excuse me, spins it out here. I say once again on the wall, getting into the outside wall. We've seen it over and over again. But just a product of getting into that outside wall and just spinning it out.
Yeah, and it looked like he just kind of pushed up too high off of the exit of turn 2 and caught that wall, and that can be a real killer, especially on these bank tracks, because this one and Dover, I know, can be talked about in the same aspect, because Dover, you come off of 2's not as much of a problem, but 4 at Dover is the exact same way with what we just saw. You know the car can handle it. The car can stick the speed through the corner, but there's a wall there, and the wall's not moving. You may be moving, but just feel like that wall, or that you can push it so much harder through the corners that when you realistically, you can't, because it's going to push up higher coming out of the corner.
Yeah, and as we expected here, Looks like John Van Rellis, he has been on pit road. Everybody on the track is coming down pit road. That's exactly what we had predicted to happen. We didn't expect anybody to stay out here. That's just the nature of this track. As they say everybody earns their Darlington stripes. Well, we've seen quite a few already that have earned them here. Obviously, John Van Rellis just earned his.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the whole Darlington stripe thing was until somebody explained it to me, but it makes sense now that I see all these guys beating down the wall.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it looks like we are going to have a little bit of time here under caution, so we are going to step away real fast for a quick commercial break, and we will be right back here as soon as we get ready to go racing once again to start this race here, probably on about lap 15. Alright, well, we are not going to go to a commercial break as the lights are going off on the pace car already, so that means we're going green this time by. So, Randy, you want to do the honors and get them started here for the restart as we're coming onto the backstretch right now?
Yeah, I can do that. Jameer Muhammad's up front, leading the pack, and Mikey Neal is also leading the outside line there, up in second place. So these guys will get a good start out of turn 4 and send it into turn 1, hopefully without any issues.
We will definitely have to see. And, actually, why not here? It seems like a good time as everyone is getting regrouped here to see. Last time they got spread out, but why don't we do a little crank it up here and we'll go silent for a while and let these guys have the spotlight.
Yeah, and Jameer Muhammad's coming to the green here as the pace car dives off. And there they go.
Alright, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as still Jameer Muhammad in the 14 is out front, followed by Mikey Neal behind him right now. And he's trying to run him down pretty good, but he just hasn't quite been able to get up there. So we'll switch back into a different camera here so we can get a better view. There is your front 10 drivers. They're pretty much just, training it right now. Single file, not a whole lot going on. Will we see anything on? We were already told earlier in this race, don't expect to see much passing, and well, we have not seen a whole lot at all.
Yeah, I'm watching, just flipping through the cars here to see if I can find anything that's going on. It looks like the 27 of Jonathan Ellis, Matthew Ellis, and Ray Moss are kind of close together. That could brew some battling, as the 27 of Jonathan Ellis is looking on the inside of Matthew Ellis right now, so maybe we could get some action there.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see as we're back there watching this group. And we'll see. Again, just not a whole lot going on here, to be honest. It's really spread out here. We're keeping an eye throughout this field. As we're looking, John Van Rellis still on pit road. He has been there for 6 minutes so far. Jack Fellers, started good. We'll pull this up. Started 17th. He went all the way up to about 10th, and he's fallen back to 15th. As he still has some damage. You can see the right front of that tire there just a little bit. So definitely something we'll have to look for to see if he can work his way back up there, as he was your pick. But like you said, Justin Starr having a fantastic run here, sitting in 6th place. As we'll look to see, he started 6th, he's in 6th. So again, that goes to show that just not a whole lot of passing is going on.
Yeah, and from a driver standpoint, a track like this with all the beating of the wall that you see, if you start up in the top 10, you finish in the same spot, that's a win in my book, because this is a hard track to drive, so it can really be daunting to drive this track for 125 laps and stay exactly where you are and not give it up.
Yeah, it really is. It's just, like you said, a win in your sense, just if you can keep it in one piece and not earn your stripes here. You sound like earning your stripes is a good thing. It's not. If you earn your stripes, your day probably isn't going the way you want it to. Some people that haven't earned their stripes yet, of course, that is right there, Mikey Neal in the 8, and Jameer Muhammad, who is out front leading this thing. But I say that, he gets right up to the wall. He almost earned some there, as he was really close to doing it, but he didn't do it this time by. Bryson Barker behind him. And another driver here, I thought he would be here, is Austin Edstrom is not racing here, so I'm not sure if he was scheduled to miss this one or what happened there.
Yeah, from what the guys were saying earlier, I guess he had to work and wasn't able to make tonight's race.
Yeah, so that is unfortunate there, as he's already missed one, so he's now missing a few. That's going to hurt him in the point standings. However, it is allowing these drivers behind him to gain some points, so that is good for them. Again, the ones out of the race now, Jared Hagedorn didn't start, Jim Locking didn't start, and we knew Roger Muth wouldn't start, so a few drivers that did not start the race here. Right now, John Van Rellis is still on pit road, out of the race. Currently, he's not out, he's off the track. Justin Spear is 1 lap down, but he is on the track. Currently back there with Jack Fellers. But other than that, everybody is on the lead lap. So, we still have a shot to have some good racing here. If these guys can get grouped back together, or if we see another caution, they regroup. Right now, again, the closest battle is we're watching back here, Brian Dorsey and back there Justin Starr, as he's actually got some company now.
Yeah, that can be a good thing. I mean, it kind of challenges him and says, well, what can I do to get around these guys? Because, I mean, James Morgan's looking to get around him, and he's looking to get around Brian Dorsey here and Alex Huffman. So hopefully this can breed some good racing.
Yeah, we'll definitely waiting to see here what transpires. Can Justin Starr get by? We know he's got the talent to get up there and get a solid finish. That just hasn't had the luck at all this year, as he is running a new paint job here. So we'll see if he can get up there. Kind of disappointed he's not running the VRN colors anymore, or the logo anywhere on that car. But it's his choice, of course, to run whatever. He's changing it up maybe to change his luck here a little bit. Seems to be working for him, so we'll see if he can get up there and get by. But right now, that's probably, again, the closest battle. Is now the 83 of Alex Huffman earns his stripe.
Yeah, and he got really loose there, and that could have been really scary. And he gets really loose coming out of 2 as well. So it looks like his tires are starting to say, I don't want to work anymore. You got it. As he's on the wall again, coming in into 4 out of 3.
Yeah, we're just watching these guys very closely, and here comes the 9 of Brian Dorsey trying to get to the inside. Couldn't make it stick, And it looks like Justin Starr was going to try to get in there as well. Neither one of them were able to get by. So right now, the 83 of Alex Huffman, he just got a lucky break. He earned a stripe, and still nobody was able to pass him, as it looked like Brian Dorsey was just about ready to do it, but just couldn't quite make it happen. Meanwhile, Jameer Muhammad and Austin and Mikey Neal are just running away with this race up front. While Mikey Neal hasn't led any laps, he's not letting Jameer Muhammad get away at all.
Yeah, no, not at all. He's kept close, and that's you got to put the pressure on him. If you run, now we were talking earlier, Mikey had a strategy to run a line for a long run. If you put the pressure on Jameer to stay in front of you, he may run his equipment off to hopefully have better tires than him on the long run, to where he can get around him with ease and just gap him.
Yeah, and that's a very valid strategy. Make him wear his tires off to where he doesn't have anything for the long run, and that's a very good strategy to do here. You don't have to push it as hard to try and stay out front. You just have to stay behind him and run your line, and he has to try to defend, and he's going to wear those tires out as they both get right up next to the wall, as some people would refer to that line as the Kyle Larson line, getting right up on that wall. He does it just about every corner. These guys are not doing it quite as much, but man, are they getting ever so close to that outside wall right now.
Yeah, and if you want to refer to the Kyle Larson line, you could also say it's a high side hustler, because that's what we always said it was growing up.
Definitely multiple names for it here. Either way, it's a very, very dangerous line, and you can very well get into the wall. You're so close up, especially with a car like this that's tight and wants to push up. It's a very dangerous but very fast line to go to. We'll see how and if anybody does scrape the wall doing it up here in the front. We've seen it in the back, but these guys up in the front haven't done it yet. But we'll be waiting to see that. As we go a little ways back here to about 5th place, those three have kind of spread out right now between the Alex Huffman in 4th, Brian Dorsey in 5th, and Justin Starr in 6th. So we'll go a little further back here as we have somebody slowing down on the front stretch. That's the 63 of Charles Hoffman.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to see if I can find it. Ooh, Jack Feller's on pit road for the last 7, 9, 10, 11 seconds already. So, not sure what happened. Oh, I'm getting word that he may have wrecked. So, hopefully he can get out there and run some more laps again. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that car is pretty beat up in the back and the side and the front. So a lot of damage, unfortunately, on that car. So we'll see if he can get back out there, as it looks like now Charles Hoffman is going to come down pit road as well. So we'll go down to him on the track, as there he is. Coming down pit road again, something happened. He slowed down. He probably scraped the wall, maybe spun it a little bit, but a caution did not come out for him, as he was out of harm's way. So we'll go back up to your leaders, as Mikey Neal is still trying to run down Jameer Muhammad. And I have a feeling, based on how it's going right now, the end of this race will probably come down to Jameer Muhammad or Mikey Neal.
I don't want to say that. I do want to say I think it's going to come down to a restart. If we do happen to get another caution, I think it's going to come down to a restart or a race off pit road.
Yeah, and these guys are actually now starting to lap this field, as Justin Spear 2 laps down, Charles Hoffman 2, and Jack Fellers 3 laps down. Dan Butler is on the track right now. We'll see. He is currently 23 seconds off of the pace. Keeping in mind they're running 30-second laps, so he is within jeopardy of going down. As we're watching him right now, you should see the leader come in. There's your leaders as he's going into the corner. They're coming out of the corner on the other side, so he is within striking distance. So is Dennis Ellis. So if we don't see pit stop soon here, we're 26 laps into this stint, but we have up to 40 on a stint. I have a feeling we're going to see quite a few of these drivers go a lap down.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would expect them to start coming down just due to tire wear, and not being able to handle the car. Because I mean, you look at Jameer and Mikey, as I say that and I watch Mikey, he gets a little bit loose, but they're able to handle the car pretty well. I'm not sure how it is about 20 laps in with these. I haven't driven this track for more than 2 laps because I can't keep it off the wall. So I'm really not sure how the car's handling for these guys, as I see Matthew Ellis get really loose coming off. So I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing these guys pit, but I have been wrong before.
Yeah, well, it's just, kind of a thing we have to wait out and see as we just hit my elbow there. We'll see. Right now, I'm kind of wondering how much these guys have worn off these tires. Right now, you wouldn't think those front 2 have worn off really any at all, as they're both running pretty fast times considering, or running smooth anyway. But looking at their fast time here, 28.4 for the front 2. Meanwhile, their times currently 30.4, so they're 2 seconds off the pace, or off their own pace for their fastest lap. So definitely tire wear is playing a factor. The question is, how much is the handling gone in these? Obviously the speed is gone.
And usually if the speed's gone, the handling is gone too, because you're not driving it in as deep, just because it's doing something to make you not want to go as deep into the corner, whether it be loose or tight. You see people start to back up their entry quite a bit.
Yeah, and we'll see if they're going to do that. It's still running kind of high for Jameer, so we'll go back here and check in with Mikey, who is still running high in the track as well. Meanwhile, Bryson Barker just ran the 31.4 on his last lap, so he is well off right now. So a lot of speed loss on his. Now he just ran a 32, so I don't think, if everybody else is running 30s and he's running a 32, he does have a little bit of damage. I'm wondering if he's trying to conserve and stretch it out a little bit here.
I don't think it's gonna. Man, this track is so weird, and I haven't driven it, so I can't really say what each driver could be thinking, because there's so much strategy that can go into this track with how it eats the tires and how it's basically just single file racing. Because I see Bryson Barker just tag the wall right there pretty hard and get pretty loose. So I wonder if that's what's happening. Is he getting tight on entry, tagging the wall and being slow that way?
Yeah, it very well could be, and that will slow you down here, as he did run a 30.5 that time. So he is a little bit faster. We'll see what this time right here is he scraped the wall there at 31. So that looks to be the issue. When he hits the wall, he is losing that time. So definitely he would love to see pit stops come in soon, as he is going to scrape the wall there. And a few drivers have made pit stops here.
He hit it hard that time.
Yeah.
He's hitting it pretty hard. I think he hit it twice hard in that corner alone, and that's gonna beat his car up. He's gonna lose a little bit of aero, and being a short track like this with the high banks, aero isn't as big of a deal as it is as somewhere like super speedway racing like Talladega, Daytona, Pocono, but still it can, all that metal flapping in the wind, it can throw it off. And
all right, not to cut you off there, Jameer
ahead.
Mohammed's coming down pit road with 34, so they are going to make pit stops around the 35 mark, not to the 40, as Jameer has started. But he is the only one, actually.
Yeah, I would expect to see Mikey try and stick it out until he has to come down. As he's coming around, it looks like he's going to lap the 21 of Dan Butler. Dan Butler might be going to the pits.
He is. Looks like so far Bryson Barker's going down. Justin Starr, Brian Dorsey coming down, I believe. Ray Moss, Sam Crow coming down. So a lot of drivers coming down here. I think if I'm Mikey, I want to hang out here a lap or two more as well, especially with all these guys hitting the wall like they were and spinning out potentially. The potential for a caution right now is very high. So if I'm these guys, I want to stay out there and see if a caution comes out and put this field a lap down. But it doesn't look like he's going to hang out much longer as he's coming down pit road.
Yeah, I've had it happen to me where I pit 1 or 2 laps early, try to short pit, and people try to follow me last second, and they take out the barrels or something like that, and there I am trapped 2 laps down now because somebody couldn't make it to pit road for some reason, and it kind of sucks. It really does, because you got to work your way back, and yeah, you're on fresher tires and everything, but you're 2 laps down.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate here. James Morgan, however, has not pitted. Mikey Neal makes a good stop there. James Morgan will take over the lead, and this will be his first lap led. When did he cross the line?
James Morgan, Jonathan Ellis, Dennis Ellis, and Justin Spear have not pitted yet, as Justin Spear does come down pit road that time.
So very few drivers have not pitted. At this point, the caution potentially coming out, I don't think is as big of a risk. These guys got fresh tires, so we'll have to see how it goes. These guys up front, though, running 31.4, so they're 3 seconds off of the fast time for the race, so they have definitely got to come in and pit here soon. Otherwise, they are going to go a lap down even more. I mean, they're probably going to go a lap down anyway because of the fact that there goes Mikey Neal going to be passing the 12. So he is going to get his lap back now. So if I was the 12 or the 11 or the 27, I'd be coming down pit road this next time by.
Yeah, I would hope so, because I don't know how much longer these guys are going to make it on fuel.
Yeah, they can't make it much more. Our numbers were 35 to 40 as they're on lap 40 now as they're coming across the line here for the 12. So they've got to be running low on fuel here. I would expect them to come in very soon, if not this next time by. They almost have to.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious. Were they just waiting to try and get those lap lead points, or do they know something we don't know that they can make it 50 laps?
Yeah, I don't think they can. They very well could know something we don't know here. We'll definitely see, but they are not coming down so far as they just crossed the line. So they have now completed 41 laps on this stint. So obviously they can go. Remember, we may have heard, I think it was somebody saying they could go maybe 50 earlier, but I didn't think it was going to happen. These guys may try to make it happen.
And James Morgan's coming down now. Dennis Ellis and Jonathan Ellis are already on pit road, so James Morgan's trying to get it to pit road so he can get some fresher tires and get her full of fuel.
He is indeed, so everyone has now started or completed their round of pit stops, and that will give the lead back to Jamir Muhammad here very shortly, as we'll see everyone's dropping down to the back here that went on pit road just now. When it's all said and done, I think we're going to have about only 9 cars on the lead lap due to pit stops here and people just getting past. And I can promise you, if you're these drivers up front right now, Jamir Muhammad, Mikey Neal, Bryson Barker, they are loving these fresh tires.
Yeah, I don't know how many cars we're going to finish with on the lead lap if this thing goes green, because you guys got guys beating down the wall and slowing them down, causing them to have damage, and that can hurt you in the long run.
Yeah, it definitely can. As we'll go back here we saw you answered Mike Neal's question, and yeah, Mikey does still have some damage on the front of that car. It looks like he did get some of it repaired as the 6 hits the wall in front of him, and Mikey has to make some evasive maneuvers there to try to get him around him. That is a lap car of Matthew Ellis that scraped the wall, so a good job for Mikey to avoid that one, as it could have been a disaster for the front end of his car.
Yep, and damage, I wish I could give you a 100% answer on how much it's going to hurt to be beaten down that wall like that.
Yeah, it's you can't ever really tell here. Obviously, it's not enough to keep him from holding second place down. He's doing a great job of that, but he's fast, but I don't think he's been as fast as Jamir tonight. He is just a little bit off of him, even during qualifying and practice. He was right up there. He was ahead of him for a little bit, but then Jamir found something out. So I definitely think he has a shot to win, or at least based on speed and times he did. coming into this race. So as fast as he is, but Jameer being a little bit faster, we really don't know if that's the case or if that damage is slowing him down. So like you said, there's just no real way to know if that damage is actually hindering him that much.
Yeah, at this point with Mikey being 4.183 seconds back, Jameer would have to mess up pretty bad for something to happen with Mikey to just get the win like that and not have to really battle for it.
Yeah, the good news for Mikey, or really anybody behind Jameer right now, is the fact that this track is notorious. Of course, Jameer's a good driver, so we may not see it, but this track is very notorious for if you get that outside wall, with the speed you're carrying of 169 miles an hour through these corners, if he gets into the wall, there is a really good chance it's going to spin the car around and possibly put him into the outside walls. He scrapes the wall there, so now both him and Jameer have damage.
Yeah, I think Jameer knows the limits of these cars. After talking to him as a driver of this league and as just like a broadcaster or just like a person to person, I know he puts in the time at these tracks. He really knows the limits he can push them with the trucks and the Xfinity cars. He really puts in the time to make sure he knows what he can and can't do at the track come Sunday night or Tuesday night.
Yeah, he definitely does, and he's doing it here. So we'll see if he can maintain it. Here you go. We'll take a look here at our cautions. We have had one caution for 4 laps, 64 laps to go. We are just about at the halfway point. As soon as Jameer Muhammad crosses the line next time, we will officially be at the halfway point, as he is coming to do so right about there. So that will do it. So we're at lap 63 laps to go. We are officially halfway home. We'll see. We still have a ton of laps for something to happen, and well, it's racing, so anything can happen and will happen, and it can happen to anybody, so nobody is out of the woods just yet.
Yeah, and I do see that John Van Varellis has pulled it behind the wall. He has packed it up, and he's starting to get ready to take it back home for the night.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate for him that he has packed it up a little bit earlier here. He is the first one out of the race as Jack Fellers is coming back down pit road once again, as he's going to have to back up there as he missed his pit stall. So he will be on pit road for an extended time getting tires and fuel. We'll see if he gets any damage repaired as well. But Jameer Muhammad out front, and it looks like they're about to pass the 63 of Charles Hoffman, who is down on the bottom running a little slow.
Yeah, I think he's just letting that leader get by some without giving him any trouble. He just doesn't want to cause a caution. I think he was one of the guys that got an EOL for the start of this race due to last week's incident. So he's just trying not to get any of those penalties this week again.
Yeah, and I do want to note here, as we're noticing here, earlier, you mentioned that Mikey Neal was 4.2 seconds behind Jameer Muhammad. Now it's dropped to 3.7 seconds. He's reeled in quite a bit of time on him. The question is, did that damage hurt Jameer Muhammad? It's 3.7, 3.6, it's fluctuating. Did that damage hurt Jameer Muhammad? Or has Mikey Neal just picked it up all of a sudden and found something?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but I do want to say that Jameer is coming up on the 9 of Brian Dorsey, who is in 8th place as of right now. So he's looking to put 8th place a lap down already. So I'm going to bring it back to say I don't know how many cars we're going to have on the lead lap by the end of this thing.
Yeah, it could get interesting. We've seen it as low as the top 2 on the lead lap. And if they start lapping everyone, that very well could be the case here, is those are the only 2. And it'd be very interesting if we even lap second place, but I doubt that's going to happen. But I'm with Mike Neal in chat. I think Mikey's coming. He is staying right around 3.7 seconds now. So I think he is maybe coming up here. Maybe he's found something. Jameer is in a little bit of traffic, we'll see if that plays a factor. I think most of these guys are going to get out of the way as Jamir Muhammad hits the wall again. Again, these lap cars may be posing a bit of a problem for him as he cannot get by the 12 right now.
Yeah, and part of RACECORE rules was that if you're on the lead lap, you can fight to stay on the lead lap. There's nothing saying that you have to pull over. Pulling over is a courtesy thing. It's a 100% courtesy thing. It's like a gentleman's rule kind of thing. Kind of like in baseball where it's like an unwritten rule. If you get hit with the pitch, you're not supposed to touch it. So it's just one of those unwritten rules that if there's a leader and he's on you, you gotta move so that they can get by. But you are allowed to race for that spot.
Yeah, and
I guess you could call it.
This is really bad news for Jamir. Not only is that a lead lap car, they're racing. That is the 9 and the 12. James Morgan and Brian Dorsey. Those two are battling for right now 7th position. So, I don't blame him. I'm not going to deliberately hold up Jamir, but I'm battling for a top 10 position. I am not going to let that car by me. By slowing down, that is just going to let the 9 have the position, which he did finally get. James Morgan did pass the 9, so he will get that now. It looks like he has his hands full, but it looks like the 9 of Brian Dorsey is going to let the 14 by, but he still has to catch up to the 12 of James Morgan that didn't let him by the first time, which he didn't have to. He was battling for a position.
Yeah, I see Mike Neal in chat here. He said the 8 made up a second off of that wall hit, and he is only 2.23 seconds back now. So maybe we'll see a good battle here soon. That would be cool.
Yeah, we very well could. And keep in mind, damage, it's not slowing him down a whole lot, but the more he gets into these lap cars, he's already hit that wall 3 times. So he has significant damage there to the right side. And we're looking in front of him. He has 4 cars in front of him he has to get by. So he has a ton of lap traffic, which means there is just that much more of a chance that he could get into the wall. Somebody could spin and collect him with him. This is a very dangerous spot for Jamir Muhammad right now.
Yeah, and that air. And if you're looking, James Morgan is running in front of Jamir and picking up spots off of Jamir passing lap cars.
He is indeed.
Because the 70 of Sam Crow just let this 12 by as Jamir passed as well. So he kind of used that to his advantage.
Yeah, he did, and it looks like the 12 let the 14 by there. If I was a 70, I don't know if I'd have let him by. However, Sam Crow with the 70 was actually a lap down, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So actually, he didn't gain a spot out of that. Neither one of them did. But I don't know if I'd have let him by. He was doing the good thing by letting him by, but James Morgan letting the leader by, that put him a lap down. I don't know if I'd have done that.
I'm looking on what I'm seeing. They are all on the same lap, so the 70 of Sam Crow would have been on the same lap with James Morgan.
Well, that is true. When they passed, he wasn't a lap down. The 12 let the 14 by after.
Right.
So yeah, so now they are on the lead lap. He wasn't at the moment. So yeah, now you definitely don't want to let the 70 by him. But once again, Jamir's got cars in front of him, and we'll look. 2.4 seconds separates your front 2 right now. And we are going to be coming up on pit stops here again shortly, as we have completed 28 laps on this stint. So here in the next 5 laps, they should be coming back down pit road again.
Well, Jamir is on his 29th lap. Mikey is on his 27th. Huffy's on his 26th. Bryson Barker's on his 28th. Justin Starr's 28th. James Morgan's only on his 21st. So those spread out pit stops are where this is going to come into play, because if you short pit, you might have a little bit of an advantage, but if you stick it out and wait for that caution, that is very, very likely, with people racing for positions at the end of the race, may have an advantage.
Yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. if things happen here. And looking there too, we just saw it in chat, Mikey Neal 2.0 seconds. He just gained another 0.4 to 0.5 on him. He is reeling him in here. Some of this could be due to lap traffic, but Mikey Neal may be picking it up. As we've seen when he wins races in the past, the longer the race goes green, it seems he comes to life. So we'll see if that's what's happening here as he gets right up to the wall, doesn't hit it, but he is coming 1.9 seconds. I think those lap cars are definitely hindering our leader right now, as he is just right there within striking distance, and Jameer Muhammad almost hits the wall again.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if Mikey can catch Jameer before the pit stop, because if Mikey can get ahead of him before the pit stop, that could also give him a lot of time while Jameer pits, if he pits ahead of Mikey.
Yeah, and one thing to note here too with Jameer Muhammad in these lap cars, he's having to get out of his line, and he's having to scuff those tires up a little bit more to try to pass people. He's getting out of his groove and going into a line that may eat those tires up a little more. He can't conserve as much. So it's going to be interesting here, as now it's back down to 2.2 seconds. But Jameer does have a little bit of time here while he catches the 42 and the 99. So keeping in mind, he's about to put 5th and 6th a lap down. We'll see how bad these are going to fight him. You know the 99 of Justin Starr does not want to go a lap down, so I'm sure he's going to fight to stay on the lead lap. And I'd imagine the 42 of Ray Moss will as well.
I don't think Justin's going to fight to stay on the lead lap, because we've seen it before to where he kind of lets them by once they get there.
Yeah, we'll see. The 42 is going to let him by pretty easy. That's going to put 6th place 1 lap down. And here he comes up on the 99 of Justin Starr. We'll see how this one plays out. Can he get by him? Now it's 1.9 seconds. That time as Jameer gets right up to the wall. Sort of scrapes it, but he stays off it for the most part.
Yeah, I think Justin's going to wait. Oh, maybe not. Maybe Justin's going to fight him for it. That's not like Justin usually.
Yeah, we'll see. As he's going to hang him in there on the outside and cut back down and hang on. He is going to stay on the lead lap. Now, he'd love to stay on the lead lap for the sheer fact that if he stays ahead of him, he can't be passed by anyone. He's the last car on the lead lap. If he does lose the lead lap, all these cars behind him could potentially gain position. So he's set that he cannot fall out of the top 5 right now, and that is a very tempting thing to try to fight to stay in that lead lap.
Yeah, and with pit stops coming up, he wants to stay on the lead lap because maybe he can gain some time back and stay on the lead lap more.
Yeah, and not to cut you off there, but look who's in his rearview mirror right now.
Mikey Neal.
You got Mikey Neal, 0.333 seconds behind. He has just shot out of a cannon here in the last 2 laps, and he is all over the back bumper. So right now, I can promise you, Mikey Neal is screaming probably at the top of his lungs in his room, telling the 99 to hold up the 14 because he's coming. If Mikey was old enough to drink, I'd imagine he'd say, hold my beer right now, I'm coming to the front. In his case, it's probably hold my Coca-Cola or something, I'm coming to the front.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because pit stops are right around the corner.
They are indeed, and Mikey Neal is just all over the 14 right now trying to make something happen. And this is good. If he's this close coming into pit stops, he can pit exactly when the leader does, and he will not lose hardly any ground as the 42 gets into the wall. And I'm wondering here if the 8 of Mikey Neal may use the 99 as a pick here and try to get by him here. If the 99 stays in front, he may try to dive to the inside and pass him here for the lead. It's going to get interesting here before this race is over.
Yeah, this is getting good. 87 laps in.
It's getting very interesting here. 0.2 separating your leaders now. This is the closest they've been all night long, thanks to the lap cars. And there goes the 99 of Justin Starr. I think he's going to let him in, and he's actually coming to pit road. And not sure what's going on with Jameer. He's coming down pit road as well. as he is going to come down and get some feel-good tires. We'll watch, make sure no mistakes are made, as he is going to get to the right side of pit road. That's where he needs to be. Otherwise, he wouldn't face a penalty. But we'll see. He is going to come down. This is a very crucial pit stop because this could be one of our last pit stops here, I do believe. Not 100% sure on that, as we'll take a look here. 38 to go. Yes, this will be the last pit stop.
Yeah, it'll be pushing it for sure, because we saw, I think James Morgan was able to make it just about exactly 40.
And Mikey Neal's coming down pit road as well. So this is going to be a crucial time here. Obviously, I think Mikey Neal may have wanted to pit right when Jameer did, but Jameer kind of pitted at the very last second. It's a good for him he didn't spin it out. It is a very dangerous thing to do at the very last minute, but he did it perfectly. As we're watching to make sure Mikey Neal hits his stop good, and he does. He's going to hit it right perfectly, get some fresh tires and fuel, and that will give the lead over to the 12 of James Morgan, as he will lead that lap.
Yeah, I do want to note Dennis Ellis has packed it up and gone home as well now, so it's sad to see that. But Mikey Neal's coming off pit road, and Mikey Neal and Jameer Muhammad had just about the exact same time spent on pit road. From start to finish, they were 48.4 for Mikey and 48.7 for Jameer. So 3/10 of a second is what separates them, as they are right next to each other, neck and neck. So this is going to be a good race for each other.
Yeah, and to note here, we say they're next to each other. Mikey Neal's out in front this time. It has reversed the role here. So now it is up to Mikey Neal to try to hang on to the lead here for the last few laps. We have 36 laps to go. That is a big chunk of laps, but pit stops are over, so that's not going to be a matter here. So Mikey Neal just has to hit his marks and, make that 14 of Jameer Muhammad work to get this win. And, just hang in there and do what you got to do, and he will come out victorious. We'll see if he can do it. Note to self, there are only 5 cars on the lead lap right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of, when I was talking about it earlier, I was kind of thinking maybe that would be the number of how many cars we're going to finish on the lead lap, but I didn't want to be that optimistic.
Yeah, and it stinks when we only have a handful of drivers on the lead lap. The good news is you can't go too far back here. So if we have a late race caution, do you come in and get fresh tires? If there's only 5 cars on the lead lap, you go to the tail end of the lead lap. That's not a lot of spots. That's your 5th. You're going to be starting inside row 3. So not a big punishment if you go in there and go to the tail end of the longest line. So we're going to be looking for that if we get a late race caution, if we can get it out there. But keep it in mind, for this is Darlington, we've had 1 caution. I really figured we'd have at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, and if we do have a late race caution and these guys will be going green, I'd be willing to put money on it. Not Vegas odd money or anything like that. I'd be putting hard money on that these guys are going to come down and try to get a fresh set of tires.
Yeah, I would definitely that as well. And looks like the 8 just blew by the 63 and the 12. Jameer still stuck behind the 12 right now. Ooh, as the 12 gets into the wall, Jameer Muhammad having to take some serious evasive action. Luckily, I don't think a caution is going to come out for that, but that is going to cost Jameer Muhammad some serious time now.
Yeah, that's going to really. I mean, I don't want to or jinx anything, but if I was a betting man, that might seal the race.
Yeah, I think it is, and I'm with Mike Neal in chat. You could say he might be a little biased because it is his dad, but I am with Mike Neal on this. I think the longer this run goes, Mikey Neal gets faster. He saves a little bit, and then when it comes to the closing laps, it's like he finds another gear or something, and he just seems to get faster and faster the longer the runs go.
Well, you do know these things have cruise control, right?
Well, that's new to me.
No, but if you find a line that you're not really turning the wheel as much and you're not chafing the tires, you'll be faster in the long run. You may not be as fast right away, but you will be faster in the long run.
Yeah, definitely is fast in the long run. He now has 2.133 seconds over Jamir Muhammad. The whole roll has reversed here from what it was the first half of this race. Keeping in mind, Jamir Muhammad led 78 laps. Right now, he is unfortunately not in front of not in the front of this pack like he wants to be, I'm sure. We'll see. Mikey Neal has led his 9th lap now as he is out front, and he has no plans looking back right now. He got the lead. He had a plan, and he executed it very well to get the lead, and he has just got to hang on now.
Yep. Hanging on is about all you can say, really. Be kind of scary for some guys to try and hang on, especially when you got this much of a lead. You don't want to try and get relaxed.
Yeah, getting too relaxed can cause to make mistakes. So you want to be somewhere between 100% focused and 100% relaxed. You want to be right there in the middle where you're focused, but you just relax just enough to get your move, get in the groove, and do what you got to do. As it looks like he's coming up on the 77 very quickly. I think he'll probably get by him without any issues here. Again, that is the lap car of Justin Spear he's catching, who is currently 5 laps down, so there's no reason we would expect the 77 to battle him, as he scrapes the wall there one more time, and he is going to get by him very quickly to keep on moving. And it's very interesting. We had no battle going on for the lead, then we had a huge battle going on for the lead, and now it's reversed, and we really don't have a battle going on again, but the front two have switched. So Mikey Neal out front where Jamir was, so they've just really switched spots, and it's back to where it was for the first 60 to 70 laps of this race.
Yeah, and oh man, I'm kind of curious if Jamir can catch him or not.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That time is definitely falling down now. It went from 1.7, 1.9, 2.0. Now it's back to 1.9. But again, he has that lap car. As you go back to Jamir, he's still stuck behind the 77. Again, the lap car doesn't have to technically get out of the way of the leaders. Some racing, they do enforce it here. He does get by. That's going to cost him some time. So the lap cars are hindering the 14 right now more than they are the 8 of Mikey Neal, which, or just a few laps ago, it was the opposite of that. The lap cars were getting out of the way of the leader, but not for Mikey. And now it's reversed, and, unfortunately for Jamir Muhammad, it reversed at the wrong time. This is the closing laps. This is when you want to be in the lead and have all those cars getting out of your way for you. Unfortunately, the position belongs to the 8, and he's doing a good job of getting by him.
Yeah, and I've noticed that Mikey's a little bit more aggressive than Jamir to get around these lap cars, and I do believe he is about to lap the 84 of Bryson Barker, who is in 4th place.
Yeah, he is indeed, and he is a little bit more aggressive. Jamir will get up to their back bumper, and he'll hang on a little bit and then wait for a moment to get by. Mikey, not so much. He'll get up to him. As soon as he gets the run, he dives it to the inside and takes off by him and takes advantage of that run, and that's probably what's allowing him to keep that lead a little bit more, is he's not being held up by the lap cars as much as Jamir was. He gets up to him, he don't play around, he just gets on by him and puts him a lap down or multiple lap down and says, I'm out of here, I'll see you in victory lane, and just keeps trucking forward. As the 84 gets into the wall, Mikey Neal's going to take it to the bottom and get by him, and that leaves us only 3 cars on the lead lap right now: Mikey Neal, Jamir Muhammad, and Alex Huffman.
And Alex Huffman is like 2 seconds ahead, not even 2 seconds ahead of Mikey Neal. So having those 2 cars on the lead lap might be a thing tonight.
Yeah, and we predicted it may happen here. with this track and having two cars that are just that fast and everyone else still being fast but just not quite as fast, that seems to happen, especially when you get long green flag runs like we've seen here with only one caution. It is always a possibility of happening, as Jonathan Ellis on pit road still. Just throw that in there real quick to check up on him. So all three Ellises have been on pit road. Matthew Ellis on pit road, Dennis Ellis out of the race, Jonathan Ellis on pit road. Jack Fellers is on pit road. He's been there for 19 minutes now. John Van Rellis out of the race, and none of the others did start here tonight. We'll see. Will Alex Huffman go a lap down? That is his teammate. So while it's his teammate and all, I don't think he'll give him any slack. I think he'll probably pass him here, and I don't see why the 83 would hold him up either.
Nope. I would bet Alex Huffman gets out of the way for Mikey here.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, teammates are going to let you by a little easier than someone who isn't. That's just the nature of it. That's why you have teammates to work with you and not hold you up here, especially in a position like this. So we'll see if he can catch him. I have a feeling he will here very shortly, as he's got about a 28-second gap. And you can see right there's the 83, and there's the leader right there. He will catch him on probably in the next 2 laps.
Oh, yeah, I would bet. Well, as Mikey hits the wall a little bit there, I'd say within 5.
Yeah, sparks flying there as he scrapes the wall. Definitely, he's got it in the book in the bag, as long as he doesn't, scrape the wall too many times or cost himself. But 2.4 to 2.6 second gap between him and Jameer Muhammad. Jameer's still back there, but he's just not able to get by. The best news for Mikey is the fact that next lap car is his teammate. That is great news for him. If he catches him, he probably won't battle him. He probably won't fight Jameer too much either, but he won't fight him, or he will probably fight him a little bit more than he would his own teammate. So that's good for Mikey Neal, as he's doing everything he needs. He has scraped the wall once or twice, but not too terribly much.
Yeah, I would expect Alex Huffman to try and hold up Jameer. Just not too much, but just enough to say, hey, Mikey's going to win this kind of thing.
Yeah, you definitely want to help your team out in any way you can. And if you're not in the position to race them for the lead, you're going to do what you got to do to help them. And anyone out there, that says, oh, that's wrong, you shouldn't do that, it's dirty, whatever, go back to 2001 and go look at the Daytona 500. Dale Earnhardt died doing that race. That is tragic. But what was he doing when he died? He was defending the 8 and the 15. He was defending his team so that they could get the win. That's exactly what he did, and it's exactly what anybody else would do when on a team. So it's nothing bad. That is just team racing. It's part of the sport.
Yeah, and anybody that has anything to say about team racing and it being dirty and iRacing and anything like that, it's wrong, because you meet guys. You got guys like me that are on here constantly, day in and day out. I race with hundreds of different people a day, and you find those guys that you run with, and you run with well, and you just like being around and hanging out with. You want to run with them more, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. They have something to offer you, you have something to offer them. It's always gonna be there. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it's true. As Mikey Neal scrapes the wall just a little bit, he does recover 1.6 seconds separating, and he will catch his teammate here, as it's now 11 laps to go here in the race. That's only 11 laps. Going to be 10 at the line, so fixing to be 10 laps to go for Mikey Neal to hang on this. I'm surprised he hasn't caught his teammate yet, as we got cars in front of him getting all out of shape. 42 and the 12, I do believe. As we'll see, I believe he just got by. He did. Looks like the 83 did let him by fairly easy there. Not sure he just pulled over, but he did slow down a little bit there and get out of the way. 10 laps to go for Mikey Neal to hang on to this to win the race.
Yeah. I don't want to jinx anybody, but I think he's got it.
Yeah, I definitely do too here. Again, we didn't pick him, not because he wasn't fast, but because we didn't want to get that curse on him here. But he is only one of two cars actually on the lead lap, as officially now the front two are the only two cars on the lead lap. We did say it was a possibility. I didn't actually think it would happen, but it did. Two cars on the lead lap right now. That is Mikey Neal out front, followed by Jameer Muhammad behind him by 1.2 seconds, as the 42 is going to pull over there a little bit. Let your leader by, as we are now in the closing laps here, 9 to go.
Yeah, you don't really see this too much with lapping almost the entire field. I've seen it one time on iRacing, where a car lapped the entire field, and it was by fluke. It was one of those, the caution came out as me and another person were on the pit road, and everybody else was already a lap down. So, yeah, it was kind of a fluke thing, but you do see it sometimes on the dirt side if you get a guy that's just absolutely disgustingly fast, and guys like me that they know how to turn a lap in a car, but they're not fast.
We won't comment on how slow you are, but yeah, indeed, it does happen. It's very, very rare, but it can happen. And he's now got 7 laps to go to hang on to this. Just amazing how fast he has been here lately. You know, it's he's found something. I mean, you don't want to say he got good. He was already good. He's just become great lately, and he is on a roll. Hey, we talk about all the time here, Jameer Muhammad, somebody who is always winning. If you can beat him several times, you're probably as good, if not better than him. I really think Mikey Neal has reached that level, as he is consistently beating Jameer Muhammad. He has to be classified as one of the RACECORE greats here.
Yeah, if they had a Hall of Fame, I bet Mikey and Jameer and Austin, they'd all be in it.
Yeah, they definitely would be here. 5 laps to go. This is the danger zone for Jameer, too. The lap cars are dangerous, but so is 5 to go. If somebody was to spin out now, the race is over. It's an automatic win for the 8 of Mikey Neal. But that gap has now closed to .566. Jameer is picking it up just a little bit. So right now, all Mikey has to do is just hang on to it. 4 laps to go. If he can hold off, even if he loses a 10th each lap, he'll still be able to do it by .003, and he actually picks up a little bit of time there, so good job for him. He's doing what he has to.
This is coming out to be a very, very good race so far, because Jameer's within striking distance, and it's scary striking distance. If I was Mikey, I'd be running this thing on the wall as hard as I can.
Yeah, definitely. He's got to get everything he has into this car right now, as he's doing a good job. .316 seconds separate the front two right now. Now .233. We talked about there wasn't much racing going on here early in the race, and there for a while in the towards the latter part of it. But right now it is really starting to ramp up. It's going to be 2 to go. Both your front two, the only 2 on the lead lap, keeping in mind, are sitting 1-2, riding the wall here with now 2 laps to go. That's all he has to do to hang on to the win.
Yep. I kind of just want to sit back and watch. I wish we could just crank it up.
Yeah, it would be awesome here. It is going to be an awesome battle, and to mix all of that into it all, look who we got coming behind or in front of them. We have lap cars coming into the picture now too. Hopefully they don't interfere with this, as we now have 1 lap to go, presented by Northwest Racing Series. Northwest Racing Series white flag is in the air. It is going to be a nail biter here. We're keeping a very close eye on your front 3, as we're going to put that top 3 back up there. .1 separating your front 2. Oh, Jameer Muhammad's into the wall. That's going to seal it right there, folks. It is going to be Mikey Neal bringing it home.
Oh, man, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Mikey Neal brings home the win. That was good hard racing there.
That was probably the best finish we have seen in a long time here in RACECORE Xfinity Series. And no fault to the 8. They didn't get together. It was just hard racing, and Jameer unfortunately getting into the wall, and that gave the win to Mikey Neal here for, I think, his 3rd or 4th win
in a row. I think it's in a row, isn't it?
I believe it is too. What a win here. He's getting some celebrating from his teammates there. They're going to go put it in there. 2 cars on the lead lap, both of them racing for everything they have. We definitely want to talk to these guys as they're pulling in to get their picture taken here for the top 3. Speaking of top 3, we will be right back here in just a few moments with your post-race show. All right, we are back, folks. We are with the post-race show, and what a race there at the end. You know, for the beginning half, it kind of stretched out, not a whole lot of stuff going on here. But in the end, what a battle. We'll be talking to those two here in just a minute. But we have 3rd place, the 83 of Alex Huffman, who just made the comment, I didn't want to go a lap down. We talked about it. All but 2 cars put a lap down here. So obviously this track was tough here to get speed and be up front. But you were up front and still managed to go a lap down. So what was this race like?
It was a battle, that was for sure. I thought Bryson, Mikey, and Jameer were gone, but Bryson, I guess, ended up getting in the wall like I did. I know turn 3 and 4, that wall's probably stretched out to the lake out there after what my car looks like, that's for sure. It was a tough battle. I mean, Darlington is too tough to tame. The lady in black, I mean, what else would you expect? And Jameer and Mikey, I mean, how quick do you got to be to light the whole field up to 3rd? I just feel plain slow from them two.
Yeah, we were almost speechless there at the end of this race. It was just an outstanding finish here. It would have been nice to see a few more cars up there battling, but you got your team here 1st and 3rd, so definitely a good run on that. So, you know, again, just outstanding. Not a whole lot went on early in the race, so we, don't have a lot to go off there, but in the end, you finished 3rd. It'll be a good points night for you here. So, that being said, what sponsors you got on there you need to thank, or anyone you just want to give a shout out to?
I gotta give a shout out to Global Building Contractors for sponsoring the series, Justin and Dan, the admins, RACECORE, VRN for broadcasting, and I gotta give a shout out to Mikey and Jameer for putting a whooping on the entire field all night, and Leo's Coney Island for sponsoring the truck series as well.
All right. Well, again, congrats on 3rd place. Finishing in 2nd, of course, was the 14 of Jameer Muhammad. And usually we have the Jeff and Jameer show, but Jeff is not here due to family coming into town, so we have his stand-in, Randy Post.
Yeah, I just want to first off thank everybody for coming to the Jeff and Jameer show with the co-host of Randy Post. But Jameer, what a run tonight. I mean, you qualified on the pole. You had a top 3 car all night, and you were able to catch Mikey there for a little bit and then just caught the wall. What were you thinking throughout the entire race? What was your pit strategy? How were the tires throughout the race? What were you thinking when you were running through all these lap cars?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't thinking very much because it was hard enough to handle these cars. And I was trying to like figure out when to pit and all that. I was just kind of like going along with it. Really, I could not think very far ahead. To tell you the truth, I'm like actually like in full sweat right now. I have a VR headset on and I am like fully sweat right now. It's crazy. It was a battle. It was a grind. And Mikey like stepped up to the plate and he was phenomenal tonight. Going into the race like literally like 15 minutes before practice ended, I was not feeling very good about this. I could not stop hitting the wall at 3 and 4, and I don't know. I just figured something out like with like 15 minutes to go and hit a good lap, and then I kind of figured something out there, and then that brought me into the race and kind of used that to my advantage during the race, and I just pretty much backed up turn 3 and 4, secrets out, but and that really helped me carry more speed through the corner and off the corner, so that was the big move there. And yeah, it was a battle. Mikey stayed close while I was in front for a while. Lap traffic is obviously super tough at Darlington. But at the end there, when I caught back up to him, I was like hoping, should I just go right into turn 3 and 4 super deep and do slide job or something, or should I just like back off? And then I hit the wall before I even got to the corner. So.
All right. Well, that was an awesome race to watch you guys at the end there. Do you have any sponsors, shout outs, anything you'd like to make before we move on to the talking to Mikey here?
Yeah, sure. I just want to thank Global Building Contractors, iRacing Drivers World, Leo's Coney's Island, Virtual Racing Network, all you guys, and the admins for everything they do. It was, just want to thank everyone for all that they do. And big congrats to Mikey. He's been pretty fast recently, and he's he's winning a lot of races now, so I've got to step up.
All right. Well, that is the second place of the number 14 of Jameer Muhammad. And I'll pass it on to Charles, who's caught up with the 8 of Mikey Neal, tonight's winner.
I have indeed caught up with the race winner here, Mikey Neal. And before we get into this, we just want to say that your dad said he did not like the ending other than you winning. So he said you slowed down there a little bit. So we wanted to pass that on to you. That being said, what was it like out there? We saw you basically reverse the roles here from the first half of the race to be leading this race.
Jameer was definitely really strong on the short run, and it seemed that I got him on the long run. And, starting off the race, I think it was caution at lap 11. So from lap 11, my goal was not to hit the wall. I think I ruined that about 5 laps into the run. But, I was just trying to keep the car as clean as I could. I hit the wall a couple times, and that was my main issue. But, I felt fast in practice, got out here. I couldn't really figure out 3 and 4 as I wanted to, and so I just continued pitting. And I let Jameer pit. I waited about 3 laps because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get him on older or on the same amount of tires. So I pitted. I think I was about 4 seconds, and I got back up to him almost. And I know I was lap traffic there, and to be honest, I don't think I would have won, but I just got right up to Jameer, and I saw him pit, and I waited a lap because there were a couple other cars going in with them. So I waited a lap, just not so I didn't go into where it was congested. So I went in a lap after Jameer, and I was expecting to come out a second out, and I somehow came out about a second out ahead of him. So from there, I just kind of pushed the car a little bit more than I did at the beginning of the other runs. Plus, I didn't really feel like it was, or I didn't really know it was like the lead at that time. So I burnt my right front off pretty bad on the last run, and I should have saved it a little bit more, and I probably wouldn't have had that problem. But if there's another lap, it'd have been like Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch, their Darlington finish here, and I was hoping to get it, and I saw him hit the wall a little bit. I was like, oh, but he had a great run at the end there. So shout out to Jameer, and he's super fast here. I tried my hardest, and I was able to stay within about 3 to 2 seconds of him the whole race. But he was able to hold it up there, and it was unbelievable. He was so good in 3 and 4. I just couldn't figure it out like he had.
Well, definitely you figured something out there. You had the long run, figured out anyway. You bring it home in the victory lane. We know you're going to go do some celebrating here. Any sponsors on the car you want to give a shout out to, or just anyone you just want to give a shout out to out there watching?
Oh yeah, first of all, this is Darlington is technically a throwback race, so it's really cool to carry the 3-Dale Junior schemes into victory lane here at Darlington, and that means a lot. And then I also like to thank KM, Jack, Alex, Roger, and Austin. They do a lot. I know Huffy, he got a P3, so shout out to him getting top 3 position for us. Got to thank VRN. We got to thank you guys for broadcasting every race. Sometimes you have some good races. It's pretty good tonight. It's a difficult track and it's not easy at all. So it's a little bit tough. And I got to thank iRacing Drivers World and Leo's Coney Island. But most of all, I got to thank Global Building Contractors for sponsoring the Xfinity Series. Wouldn't be here without them. And got to thank my mom and dad. I know they're both watching. So shout out to you guys for watching. And I also got to give a shout out to Justin and Dan. They do a pretty good job hosting the league and really appreciate their effort.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the win. We'll let you do some celebrating, and we are going to wrap things up here for tonight. Of course, we want to thank all of our sponsors. We'll go ahead and start with the racing side of things. You do have Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills, iRacing Drivers World, and, of course, the presenting sponsor here for tonight's race, Global Building Contractors. They're the ones footing the bill for all this, so make sure you definitely go check them out and give them a thank you. On the broadcast side of things, the following partners present this broadcast to you: Walls Beard Co., Sim Speed Shop, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, iBog, and Randy's Wraps. As always, if you would like to have your business or league or whatever it happens to be, company, whatever, on the broadcast here to get some exposure, you can message us on our Facebook page at Virtual Racing Network, or you just message us on our website at virtualracingnetwork.net. to be part of this family. We'd love to have you here, and we also have commercial spots available, so hit us up for that. If you have a big event coming up or you want to promote your league, whatever it may be, we will definitely get you in there and get you promoted. So that being said, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here for tonight's race. It was a great one here at the end. That being said, we will be, we'll see. We may have a broadcast tomorrow night. Not 100% sure on that. We'll find out here shortly. If we do, we'll get it posted up. If not, we are off tomorrow, and we will see you Tuesday night with some more RACECORE Truck Series presented by Leo's Coney Island.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be used in any form without the authorized written consent of Virtual Racing Network. VRN would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.